It all started one day when I was in high school. I woke up going into my sophomore year and my leg was swollen out of nowhere. I went to the doctor and she told me that it was just a sprained ankle and to take aspirin and it would go away. 2 weeks later, the swelling didn't go away and it had traveled up into my calf. My mom took me to see a podiatrist who said that my right leg, which was 2 inches shorter than my left, which is why it was resulting in the swelling. So he sized me for shoe orthotics to raise my right leg, and he said if the swelling went above my knee, then I wouldn't need to wear the orthotics and it was a different issue. Before the orthotics had even arrived, the swelling traveled up to my thigh, and at that point I went to see a vascular surgeon who was able to diagnose me with lymphedema. Over the course of 5 months later is when I finally received my real diagnosis. He prescribed me to see an occupational therapist for manual lymph drainage. I saw the therapist 5 days a week for manual lymphatic drainage. She would move the swelling out of my leg with her hands for an hour and a half every single day. At that point, I decided that I wanted more and that there had to be a cure, so I went to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester. And that is where I learned the news that it was incurable and I would have to live with my leg being this way for the rest of my life. So after I spoke with Dr. Gamble at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester and she told me that it was incurable, I could not accept that diagnosis. Over years of searching, I finally found a doctor in Sweden, Håkan Borson, who performed surgery on patients with lymphedema and had excellent results. I kept searching and found a doctor in LA, Dr. Granzow, who I went out to meet in October of 2010 for a consultation. After I met with Dr. Granzow in LA over the lymphedema surgery, we had scheduled a date for the surgery and I was all set to go 30 days out from my consultation. I received a phone call from Health Partners Health Insurance who said that they would not be covering the cost of the surgery because they deemed that it was cosmetic and experimental. And after that, I researched other health insurance companies to help me receive the funds for the surgery, and I failed at every turn. After Health Partners contacted me and said that they would not be able to cover the cost of surgery, I reached out to one of their representatives and asked if there was anything else that I could do. She said that I could submit a petition and plead my case as to why they should cover the cost. I did that and they sent me about 200-page reason as to why they were not going to cover it, and it was all because it was cosmetic. The problem is that having lymphedema is not cosmetic. It's an issue with my lymphatic system because I do not have lymph nodes. It's not like I want to fix my nose because I'm just not happy with the way it is. My body does not process fluid correctly because of the lack of lymph nodes, which is why I need to have the surgery. My lymphedema affects every part of my daily life. It starts with wrapping my leg in bandages, which consists of foam and ACE bandages, where I have to wrap every morning. At work, I have to wear a compression garment, and on top of that, I have to use a pneumatic pump to move the fluid throughout my leg, which takes an hour each day. And that is just to maintain the swelling at the point that it is now. On top of that, outside of taking care of my leg, it affects what I do that day. If I am having a bad leg day, I won't be walking at all that day because it's too painful. If I have plans that week to go on a hike with my friends, I have to plan to not do anything else the rest of the week. When I go on trips, I have to plan for 2 outfits, one if it's a bad leg day and one for the possibility that it might be a good leg day. I always have to plan for whether or not my leg is going to work with what I have in mind for that day. I think I keep it a secret because of the situations that happened to me in high school. The first day that I was willing to show my leg to the high school, I walked in wearing my ACE bandages and foam, and one of my good friends yelled from across the hall, "Hey, look, the Michelin Man goes to school here." And it terrified me. I ran into the locker room and changed immediately. After my first basketball game, I went to sit in the stands with the rest of the school, and one of the guys had said to me, "How can you even live with yourself when you look like that?" I went home crying, and from that point forward, I decided I never wanted anyone to see or judge me the way that they had. My biggest fear is that people will see me the way that I see myself. I have always told my family that I feel like I belong in the circus for the way that I look. And I try to do everything I possibly can to hide the fact that I have lymphedema. I have to special order my pants online, get them custom sized in one leg so that they'll fit. I don't wear skirts. I can't wear high heels or anything besides tennis shoes because they don't fit. I also have to buy my shoes in different sizes so that they'll fit, an 8 for my left leg and a 9 for my right. I have not worn a swimsuit in over 10 years because I don't want someone to look at me like I'm the Statue of Liberty sticking out like a sore thumb. My biggest fear is that people are going to judge me for something that I can't control. Activities that people do that they perceive as normal are things that I can't even dream of doing. Every year for the 4th of July, my family and friends go camping into the beach, and I have to make up an excuse so that I don't have to go for fear that they'll find out that I have lymphedema, so I stay back. When I go on trips at the airport, I fly alone because every time I get flagged by security because my weight is not distributed evenly throughout my body. So they flag me as a threat and have to swab me to make sure that I'm not carrying a bomb inside of my leg. Even just having a night out at the town with the girls is a chore for me. I show up in my wide leg baggy jeans and a t-shirt when everyone else gets to dress up in their high heels and short dresses. And my friends ask me countless times to change so that I will look like them. And I can't tell them why. I just tell them that this is my style and this is what I'm comfortable in, when in reality I would love to be out on the dance floor wearing high heels and a dress. I think I could probably count on both hands how many people in my life actually know that I have lymphedema. A couple of my close friends, 5 to be exact, and my family, but I don't let anyone talk about it. In my house growing up, it was an unwritten rule that we just don't speak about it and we act as though it doesn't exist because I can't talk about it. I don't know how to tell people that I live with this condition. I don't know how to start, or I think I can count on both hands how many people actually know that I have lymphedema. When I was growing up, and it was an unwritten rule that we did not speak about my condition because I didn't want to talk about it. 2 years ago, I moved to Minneapolis, and the only person that knows that I have lymphedema is my boyfriend. I have not shared it with anyone, and I try to keep it a secret as best as possible. I grew up living in Superior, diagnosed as a sophomore in high school, and no one that I went to school with even know that I had it. I don't know how to tell people that I have lymphedema without feeling like they're judging me for it. Hiding the fact that I have lymphedema is extremely time-consuming and stressful. When someone actually does see it, I call it a slip or a mistake because I let someone find out about my condition. When that happens, I like to make up a story because I feel like anything is more believable than I just woke up one day and this happened to me. My go-to story is that I was in a snowboarding accident, I broke my leg, and it never healed correctly. Or one friend saw it, and I had been friends with her for over a year, and she asked me about it, and I said, oh, when I eat a certain food, my leg flares up, but then it goes back down, and it only happens when I eat that food. And she believed it. So my motto from that point on has always been, the more unbelievable, the more people won't ask questions. Having lymphedema is extremely expensive, starting with the compression garments and bandages that I have to buy in order to just maintain my condition. The health insurance companies do not cover the foam and bandages, so I have to pay for those out of pocket, which is $100 every time, and I have to switch those out at least every 4 months because I wear them so often. Compression garments are partially covered by insurance, but it's still $100 out of pocket, and I have to rotate those out as well because they lose their compression after a while. Those can be extremely costly depending on what type I need, and for anyone who has lymphedema knows that your leg is not always the same, so you have to switch out compression garments. So some days I need a very tight garment, some days I can have a little less compression. I always have about 10 compression garments on hand because they also need to be washed every single day so that I do not get an infection from them. Those can range anywhere between $40 to $120 after insurance covers part of the cost. Luckily, the pneumatic compression pump that I received, health insurance was able to cover, but I just still ended up paying $1,000 out of pocket in order to be able to have it. And this is the second pump that I've gone through since my diagnosis. Outside of having to pay for the cost of maintaining my condition, the clothes and shoes that I wear are extremely costly. I have to buy 2 different size pairs of the same shoes in order for them to fit, and I can only wear tennis shoes because nothing else will fit around my foot. Outside of shoes, I have to wear wide leg jeans because nothing else works, and the only brand that fits me is Hudson jeans, which are roughly $180 a pair. Before I found Hudson jeans, I would have all of my jeans custom made and have to buy 2 pairs of jeans, send them to the manufacturer, and then they would fix them for me, which was also an additional cost on top of that. Every doctor that I have met with has thought that lymphedema was just on the outside and that it was just excess swelling, excess fluid in my leg that caused the swelling. And to them, they don't believe that it's painful or that it causes me any issues, when in reality it is extremely painful, especially in my knee when the fluid is just stuck beneath my calf. Roughly 90% of my day I'm in pain. It hurts when I walk, it hurts to move, and it affects my mobility. Imagine having your arm or leg trapped in a vise. It's constant pressure all the time. I'm ready to be done hiding. I am sick of pretending that I am someone that I'm not, and I want to feel confident in the skin that I'm in, and I want to feel confident that I am who I am and not have to hide it anymore. I'm ready to finally show everyone that this is the real me. I'm not doing it just for me. I want everyone else who's dealing with it to understand that they can be comfortable with who they are and not have to feel like they're hiding it. I know growing up with it at 15, right when I started high school, it felt like my world was over. I don't want anyone else to have to feel that way or go through that or think that they are less of a person just because of this condition or any other condition they may have. I did the swimsuit photo shoot, and I am here today because I want to raise awareness for lymphedema. Before I was diagnosed with lymphedema, I had no idea that it even exists, and when I do tell people about my condition, they have no idea what it is either, which hinders everyone who has it, because without people being aware that this is a thing, we can't get help.